What if I'm having twins and so I'm big with twins? Because when you see this picture of me, you're gonna be like, how did you not know you're pregnant? How did you not know? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about how I found out I was pregnant at 17, almost 18 weeks. And this was the very first time that I ever found out I was pregnant, so it was just a very crazy time. I've told this story once on my YouTube, but I've also told it on like my TikTok multiple times, and this is probably the story that like goes viral the most. And this was also like the start of my influencer journey. I've shared it on Instagram before, and then I think on Twitter like once before. But anyway, I wanted to share it with you guys because my last video was a long time ago, and like Kim Kardashian and that TikTok sound.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
Because it was so long ago that it was so cringy to watch. But I do still have it up, but please don't go watch it because I want to delete it, but also I'm like, you know, I like to see my own growth too, and I'm sure you guys might, maybe. So that's why it's up, but it might be down. It might be down by the time you guys watch this. I don't know. But anyway, I was only 19 when I found out I was pregnant, and I was in my second year of college. So just more and more that makes the situation a little crazy. So I wanted to do like a little coffee, car, mom time, chit chat. You don't have to be a mom to be watching this, but just that type of situation, car chat, because I feel like as a mom going to get coffee and sitting in your car sometimes is just like some great alone time. So I'm like, why not start making a little YouTube series of like coffee, I don't want to say just coffee, but like shoot, a car chit chat. Does this make sense? I don't know what I should call it, like mom time. Yeah, I would say mom time, because like my mom time, I feel like I get my coffee, I go to Target, I sit in my car. So why not make a little series and talk to you guys about some stuff? So I'm going to kick it off with a story time of finding out that I was becoming a mom. That's a perfect way to kick this off. And this is just coming to me as I'm talking about this now. Whether you're a mom, like I said, or not a mom, this is not just for the moms, because I know I'm young. I have a lot of friends who are not moms. So anywho, let's just get straight into the story time. I have tons of other long videos, vlogs, but this I don't want to keep you guys, don't want to drag it out for too long. So if you guys like this, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment for what other things that you guys want to see from me. Okay, I hope my air conditioner isn't super loud. I turned it down a little bit, but it's really hot here in Texas. Anyway, I went to one Starbucks, it was closed, and I was like, I can't do a coffee car talk without coffee, for the first one at least. And it doesn't have to be coffee, sometimes it could be food, a mukbang. The coffee now, even though the first one was closed. I wanted to take the first drink with you guys because it looks amazing. It literally looks amazing. So, one of the best drinks I've ever had from Starbucks. I'm coming back here. I think Caitlin made this. I don't know who Caitlin is, but I just read her name tag. But like I was saying, I really thought that I was going to be like much older when I had kids, and I just thought like we were going to be married before we had kids and time to travel together. This, and that. I wanted my life to be completely perfect before I had kids. So let's just get right into how I found out I was pregnant. First things first, I had gotten off my birth control unintentionally. I actually went back home from my college, which was like an hour and like 20 minutes away from where I'm from. So I went back and the pharmacy didn't have my shot, and then I ended up missing my appointment. It was a whole bunch of stuff that just seemed like so crazy. Like, how is this happening this way for me not to get my birth control? My car like almost broke down on the way. Pharmacy didn't have my shot that I needed to give to the doctor. Then the doctor's office ended up closing, so they couldn't push my appointment back any further. So it was tons of stuff that I'm like, this is just a sign to not be on it. And I already felt like very like emotional and just all over the place when I was on birth control, because I'd been on it for so long and I was on the shot. So when I finally got in contact with my doctor again, she was saying, as long as your period doesn't start back regular again, like you're probably not going to get pregnant, because typically without a consistent period, like that means that your birth control is still working and that you're not fertile again yet. So I was like, say less. Like, I'm not gonna get pregnant is all that I pretty much heard. So anyway, my period never became consistent again, and this was probably like a few months later. Let's just kind of give this a time frame. I started my second year of college in August, and then in November I took a pregnancy test because like I said, I wasn't on birth control, and I was like, okay, let me just take a test, even though my periods aren't regular yet, but let me just take a pregnancy test. And I was nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not on birth control, but I took it. Sure enough, it wasn't the positive or negative. It literally said not pregnant, clear as day. I was like, whew. I was just happy, you know? So yeah, I was like, okay, good. Like, I'm not pregnant, don't have to worry about anything, I'm fine. This is October. So then fast forward to January, I still didn't have regular periods, but they were like, it was like what my regular period was, but like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, basically on the birth control shot, I would have light bleeding every month, and that wasn't like my regular period, that was like a birth control period. So I had like very, very light spotting all throughout the months that I stopped my birth control. So, you know, when I would get that bleeding, I'm like, okay, that's my quote unquote period. So anyway, then I kept having those little periods, or definitely not a regular period, like not like what I usually had off of birth control. So it seemed like the birth control still had me covered, like I thought that it did. Fast forward until January, and I still had like no thoughts of like even being pregnant, anything like that. So I had been like super busy that semester. I had a lot going on, so I just really wasn't even like paying attention, I guess, to my body like I usually do. And I was just on go, go, go the whole entire semester. It was crazy. So anyway, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of background so you understand what I'm going to talk about. Like I said, fast forward to end of January, and I go to a party with my line sisters, and that loud motorcycle. I go to a party with my line sisters, and I am somebody, I think that I have IBS. Why did I say it like that? I've been talking so much I haven't even drank my coffee. Hold on. Can't be like a car coffee talk with no coffee. But I think that I have like IBS. I get very bloated off of nothing. And I'm telling you guys this because when you see this picture of me, you're gonna be like, how did you not know you're pregnant? How did you not know? Like I said, I get super bloated. Anything I eat, I look like I'm pregnant. And I remember there was a time a few months before I was actually pregnant, or maybe the whole year before, and I literally just ate good, and I really looked pregnant, and I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like I look like I could be pregnant. The loudest cars keep driving by. But anyway, I'm gonna include the picture of the time that I was like thought I was pregnant because I looked so big. But it's just a food baby. It's just a food baby, you know, just eating good. So this is a picture of that time I thought I was pregnant, and I absolutely was not. Okay, keep this in mind because so many people have tried to come for me before, like saying I'm stupid. No, I'm not stupid. Anyway, the night of the party, I ate pizza. You know, I ate a lot before the party, whatever. So we get to the party, and I take a picture of my line sister, you know, just a regular forward facing picture, and then, you know, a cute like sideways facing picture. So like her back was like on my chest, so I was like leaned towards her, I think. Yeah, I'll have to put that picture in here too. But anyway, that's how the picture was. We like, after we took the picture, we're like, oh, like I want to see it. So we look at the picture. Both of us immediately knew. We were like, girl, you look pregnant. Like, and that moment was like, shut the party down, I'm done. Like, obviously I didn't say anything, but like in my head I was like, I literally look like I'm pregnant. But they also say too though, with pregnancy, like for some people the baby will like completely not show, and then like just one day you just like pop. And that's what happened to me. So like I said, I had that negative test 2 months ago, so I'm like, most of this is probably bloating. And you know how some people are like, they find out they're pregnant and immediately they're like, oh, I'm so big, like I'm showing. I was like, no. I was like, I do look like I'm pregnant, like a little far, but I'm like, there's absolutely no way. I just took a pregnancy test. I still feel like I've been having my normal birth control periods. So there's no way I'm farther than 2 months. I was like, honestly, 7 weeks, 6 weeks, there's no way I'm farther than that. So then I go ahead the next day, take a pregnancy test, and the first one was negative and the second one was positive. And I was like, okay, if I have a negative test, like it didn't immediately show up that I'm pregnant, this must mean that I'm not far along. Like there's no way, like it would detect it if I was far along. It was just a really crazy time. So I cried when I looked at the test, and I'm dramatic. So like I looked at myself crying, I'm like, you look so stupid right now. And I started laughing because I'm just like, girl, like get yourself together. You look so crazy. But it was a big moment. So of course I was just like so emotional. So anyway, we go back to the store and get the test to say pregnant or not pregnant. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like you can see clear as day. Am I pregnant or am I not? Take a drink. My camera keeps overheating. Oh my gosh. I'm sure you guys are gonna ask what I have. This is a grande iced caramel latte, double pumps of caramel, and 4 pumps of vanilla. And my sister-in-law got me hooked on this. I didn't even really drink coffee before. Then she told me to try this, and like ever since I've been hooked. So that's what I'm drinking, if you're wondering. So then we go back to the house. I take test that says pregnant or not pregnant. Sure enough, clear as day, pregnant. That was the time I cried, and I was like, okay, there's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It literally says I'm pregnant. Like, this is so crazy. I said so like a million times. Sorry. Then I'm just like, okay, now I can tell him, like, now that I know I'm pregnant. So I told my husband. That's a whole nother story time I could do, but same thing, emotional, crying, just thinking about everything that this changes. Then I was telling him, I'm like, there's no way that I'm more than honestly 7 weeks, because I took a test in November. It's January now, so this was not long ago. But I'm like, I also don't know, because I feel like I look big, but also it could just be in my head. It maybe is partial food baby, like bloating. I was like, I really just need an appointment to confirm it, like an ultrasound to confirm it, because I don't know when my last period was. That was an actual period, because I still have light spotting that seems like a period. So it was just literally a mess. I don't know, it was a lot. So then I found a place. I went to Western Michigan University, which is in Kalamazoo, but I'm from Lansing. So I found a place in Kalamazoo to go to, and they said free ultrasound. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, like the pregnancy service. So I went there. It ended up being like a pro-life clinic. They literally sat me in a room, and they were like reading through a binder, which was like resources, and like asked me if I'm breastfeeding and like all this stuff. And I was like, I appreciate all of this, I appreciate it, but like I thought I was getting an ultrasound because, you know, I can do all this stuff, but like I don't even know anything about anything. Like if I've been pregnant for a long time, like I don't know when my last period was. And then they had me take a pregnancy test and like watch it become positive in front of them, and I'm like, I don't know how far along I am. And they were like, well, we can't give you an ultrasound until we know how far along that you are. And I was like, this is why I came to you, because I thought this is what you guys were doing. That didn't work out. I left there, and I was emotional when I left there, because I just felt like I left with no answers about anything. So then I ended up finding a place in Lansing, and they got me in like by that same week, because it was just the only thing on my mind. Like, what if I'm having twins, and so I'm big with twins? What if I'm far along? What if, like, literally so many things were going through my head. I had no clue what to expect. It was just like so scary. I'm like, what am I do? Like, I'm literally in school. I'm gonna have to move. So we went to Lansing, and I did not tell my mom I was in Lansing, because I just wanted to go to the appointment, see how far along I was, see what was going on. Like, am I having twins? Like, what the heck is happening? We get to the appointment, and they tell me before the appointment to drink a whole bunch of water, because I don't know how far along I am, so I could be super early, and the water makes it so that they can see clearer. I'm like ready to pee my pants, and I'm like, I don't want to rush you guys, but like I really have to go to the bathroom. And they're like, okay, like we'll speed things up, like you can come back now. So we get back there. She was like, oh, you can go ahead and go to the bathroom, because we can see the baby perfectly fine. The baby is huge. So I get up and go to the bathroom, because I like literally was about to pee on myself. But I'm like, the whole time I go to the bathroom, I'm like, how big is big? Like, is 4 weeks big? Is 6 weeks big? What is your definition of big? Because the math's not mathing. It doesn't make sense. I just had a negative pregnancy test. It's not making any sense. I go back and sit down, and they show the baby. The baby looked so big. I was like, oh my gosh, like still they haven't said how far along I was, because they had to measure the baby. It's weird saying the baby when like I have the baby now, and I want to say like talk more about him now, but I'm like trying to go through the story. He looks huge, but I'm still like, I've never been pregnant before, so I'm like, how big is this baby at this time? Like, I can't tell. And so she was measuring. She was like, well, you're due the 4th of July, and you're 17 weeks and 5 days. I immediately had a tear roll down my cheek. Like, this is just so crazy. In that moment, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I have no time to prepare. I like was thinking of everything that could go wrong. And then she was like, do you want to know the gender? And I was like, what? I was just like shocked. After that, I had to go tell my mom, and we told his parents that same day too. It was like, I'm so far along that like we literally cannot wait any longer to tell our parents, because I'm almost halfway through my pregnancy. So, but immediately my husband was so supportive and was so ready, and I was the one like just so scared of like everything. Like, I just wanted my kids to have an active dad who was, you know, like, it was a lot of stuff that I wanted to have ready for my kids. I never wanted my kids to struggle, so I really was just thinking about like their future and being nervous for that. But guys, when I say God came through on everything, Me and my husband are married now. We have 2 kids. We both work for ourselves. Everything worked out. So I share this story to kind of just say like how crazy things may seem in the moment, but the way that if you continue to trust God and trust His plan for you and kind of just stay true to what you've always wanted to do. So many people come to me and they're like, I think I'm gonna be a bad mom. Like, I'm scared because I'm pregnant and like I just don't know if I'm ready. But I will honestly say I feel like you're never 100% ready. Yes, sometimes are better than others, but motherhood, parenthood is just something you cannot prepare for completely. You cannot prepare for it. Like, it's just something you'll never be 100% ready for. It really changes your life so much. So I won't say that it was easy after I found out and I was just like, oh, snapped out of it. No, it was hard for months after that because I was just like, this is such a huge change for me. I had like the fear of missing out on things. But also after I found out I was pregnant and like that far along, I also struggled a lot too because it was just such a big change in what I thought my future would look like. And I can honestly say like all the stuff I struggled with, like I would journal and pray to God. I like read books. I had testimonies of people who found out pregnant younger than planned. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm just scared I can't provide for my kids, and I just want to have them like have a loving household. And I always knew I'd be a loving mom, but I'm like, I just want their life to be perfect and them to never have to struggle with anything. Like, that's all that mattered to me. Like I said, it was hard for me, but throughout that time of hardship, I came up with my blog, like becoming an influencer. This was back in 2019. So I came up with like my blog name. I started my very first business. Guys, so much change, and I really was like getting my life together because I'm like, this is time for me to do everything that I ever dreamt of doing so that my kids can have more. So it's just crazy how much can come from like your hardships. Honestly, like you just really have to like have a good mindset about things. And even if you don't have it in the moment, just know that you're striving towards that and never give up. So guys, that is why I want to share this story, and I don't want to share this to be like, oh, I was so sad and da da da. No, because that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Like seriously, I could not imagine my life going any other way. Like, I love my babies so much. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to see any other story times, and what should I call this series? Like, I don't want to call it like coffee talk because it's like, I don't know, like something where it's like car talks, or it doesn't even have to be in the car. Some type of girl talk thing. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and let me know what you guys thought of today's video, and give me all of the ideas you have for different topics for these car talks, or the title of what these car mom talks, girl talks, whatever that you guys think I should title this. Let me know, and be sure to follow me on my other platforms if you guys don't already.